The days of the Freedom Front Plus are over. Goeiedag, mede boere. Good day, fellow boere. Goedemorgen, goedendag. The Freedom Front Plus is over. Why do I say that? Well, recently, Kobus Hofman, a previous legislative member of the Freedom Front Plus in Gauteng, came out and spoke out about all the rot in the leadership of the party. Corruption, nepotism, theft, lies. He did an interview recently with Colleen Serpentine on Brickmarken. That I would suggest you go and watch. It's quite a lengthy interview, but ladies and gentlemen, the truth comes out there. Kobus is now, unfortunately, standing on trial. This week he appeared in court, where the Freedom Front Plus have taken him on after he took them on, which I find funny because he took the leaders to court for all the corruption that they've been committing, and now they're taking him to court because he took them to court because he's doing the right thing and they're trying to cover it up. So to give some context for those that don't know, that haven't watched the interview with Colleen, the long and the short is Kobus has been fighting for quite a while, trying to internally fix the things in the party and fight in Gauteng in particular. But the rot spread. And the turning point was when he was suspended and the party was placed under administration after the last hoo-ha last year, November, of the reorganization of Gauteng, when Anton Alberts and Jaco Mulder were voted out, and the new leadership was voted in, being Kobus Hofman, Philip van Staden, and Grandi Tennyson. Alberts and Mulder were very unhappy, but they were voted out fair and square simply because both of those men have been responsible for embezzlement, misuse of party funds, and also protecting party members who have violated the constitution. Certain things like, for example, a party member who works for the party earning a salary while working as a councillor, which according to the constitution, you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to work for a party and earn a salary from the party and earn a salary from taxpayer monies as a councillor. And on top of that, that person was also had a company that the party was outsourcing work to. So 3 times. That is a big dodgy thing. And then on top of that, there's with the court cases that Kobus has against the top leadership of the party, there's a lot of dodgy corruption going on with money that's been stolen, party funds that have been misused. There was a whole disciplinary actually against Jaco Mulder, and he just got a tap on the shoulder, brushed it off. They treated it as if it was nothing. But also keep in mind that the Mulders are one of the founding families of the Freedom Front. They've been here a long time. So naturally, he was protected. And this is not the only case. I would suggest check out Kobus Hofman's Facebook. He's been doing a lot of posts on a daily basis where he has been speaking out against some of the things. He recently did a post where he spoke out about Gerda Senekal and her false degrees that she apparently has, and the lying and all of that. There's other instances of other party members who have lied under oath, which is also, in terms of the constitution, a big no-no. Party members who have been allowed to stand in government positions despite being financially insolvent. Now, this is also something that has happened not only in Gauteng, but all across the country. There's a lot of party members that get protected. Then there's also the big thing of misuse of power. So rumor has it, and I'm saying this because to legally protect myself, rumor has it, this is not factual information, I do not have the evidence, but rumor has it that the leadership of the party have abused their power in the legal field to get away from certain aspects of the law and also to abuse certain aspects of the law. Rumor has it. It's a lot of red flags of what's happening. So we've been trying to clean up the party from the inside for a long time. Now, I've been part of these fights in Mpumalanga, having served on the Dagbestuur over here and seeing the shit that's gone down in this province. Oh, I'll do another video about that at a later stage, but for now I want to just cover on the simple fact the Freedom Front Plus as a political party is fried. It's done. It's finished. The minute the party leaders decided to join the government of national unity, they basically slapped us, the Boer, in the face and said, we are not interested in representing your interests, because us, as Boer, we are not willing to compromise to join this government of national unity. Also, bear in mind the Freedom Front Plus is like a 1% party. It's incredibly small. We've got Groenewald now as a minister, and let's hope Groenewald does the right thing, but people have said to me they've lost all respect for Groenewald simply because he accepted a ministerial position. Now, with the Freedom Front being in this government of national unity, being a small party, it quite literally makes us subservient to the ANC and the DA, being the bigger partners in the government of national unity. Remember, the ANC still holds the presidency. So, this has been a long time coming, where the truth will come out about the Freedom Front. This isn't a new thing that they've been doing dodgy things in the background. Remember this, the Freedom Front Plus is, in its foundation, in its constitution, an Afrikaner party. It's supposed to represent the Afrikaners. But of recent, there has been a shift and a split in the identity of Afrikaner and Boer. And it seems that all the Boer in the party are starting to rustle up the leaves and ask questions, because our moral values have told us, as conservative Christian Boer, we have to do the right thing. And in line with the Constitution says, the law says, if you are aware of corruption, you must report it. Quibus has done exactly that. And now he is facing an attack from the top-end leadership of the Freedom Front Plus. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be honest here. 90% of the party members are there for the right reasons. On your local level, your councillors are all there for the right reasons. They're there to do good. They're there to do the proper thing. Unfortunately, the leadership on the top, the guys who sit in Parliament and who choose who goes to the legislator, they're the bad apples of the bunch. And fish rots from the head. So we're starting to see it trickle down. We're even on local level now, we're starting to see one or two bad apples. Still, local level, 90% good. Your councillors, they are fairly elected. In terms of the systems of electing candidates, on local level, there's a very democratic system of electing your candidates and your PR lists and all of that. Your party members are the ones who decide who gets to kind of stand as a candidate. They need to go out, get a nomination form signed, quite a number of signatures, and then there's another process where we have to take votes for the PR list, especially. So there's always guaranteed you're going to have the best or most popular candidates. There's also a competence exam. Now, on national level, it's a whole different ball game. There, it is a biased system. And I'm going to be honest. You have an examination you write, and you have an interview. The interview is held by a board of party leadership and elected individuals from the different provinces, but there is a bias there. Nepotism plays a huge role. I mean, look at who all sits in Parliament all the time, and whose family members sit in Parliament, and now those previous parliamentary members who couldn't get their seats because we lost percentage are now the number one candidates in the legislators. Same old, same old. When it comes to the examination, that is the biggest load of garbage ever. It is literally just a small little examination on party history and a little bit of general knowledge on politics. There is nothing that goes in depth on political competence in that examination. So we are not getting the best candidates for parliament at all. If you look at the people up there, do they really have that oomph, that energy? Do they actually, are they an illustration of a Boer? No, clearly not. They are far disconnected from the people. Now, like I said earlier, this is not a new occurrence. The Freedom Front Plus political party was founded, birthed from the Volksfront, something that they will deny. Birthed from the Volksfront, hence the F, to push the Afrikaner Accord, which was to push for an ethno-state, a Volksstaat for the Boere. They threw the towel in. Now, if you want more information on that, go look up to Book Trust. Go look on Boer Media. Boer Media has now just released yesterday a whole lot of interviews and more information on the Afrikaner Accord, which was the docket to push for the Volksstaat, which the Book Trust has still been pushing hard. And there's an interview from, I believe, last year that Boer Media did, where it's explained nicely about where the Freedom Front dropped the ball on it. Freedom Front was supposed to push this in Parliament. And they gave it up. They gave up our ethno-state. And for what? No, to sit comfortably in Parliament and earn 100,000 rand a month salary. Shame. And now, they've shown us now by joining the Government of National Unity, they have no interest in representing the Boer folk. Groenewald accepting a ministerial position has shown he's not willing to represent the Boer folk. And I had hope for Groenewald, to be honest. He had a sense of energy. But now, the man's got no balls. He's got no integrity. And that goes as well for the Mulders and everybody else sitting in Parliament. You have no integrity. You have no honor. You are not there to represent us like you should be. Now, that flag. I got demonized by the party for flying that flag. Ironically, to put more context, the exact day when I flew that flag was in solidarity with the protest that was against the Freedom Front leadership, also dubbed the Slag van Centurion. Albeit that there were people there that went with absurd agendas, the idea of the Slag van Centurion was maak die varkhok skoon, clean the party, clean up that top leadership, which is a problem. 90% of the party members want the right thing. It's just that top portion, those people sitting on that high chair, they're the problem. Unless we get rid of them, the party will fail. And this flag needs to be honored by those leaders. Otherwise, you're going to have hell to pay. Because this flag represents the people that your party is supposed to represent. I flew the flag on the day of the Slag van Centurion. That was when the first incident happened, when they saw, something's going on here. But I doubled down. And now, my suspension because of that flag is still, is just a small little drop in the ocean compared to, I'd call it a little insignificant, but it has significance. But it's a drop in the ocean compared to the bigger fight against the corruption, the nepotism, the just outright verraad, forsaking, committed by the leadership of the Freedom Front Plus on the Boervolk of South Africa. You have lied to us. You have stolen from us. You have stolen our freedom. And every time we point it out, you have men like Mulder that sit there and go like, oh, dit is nie die waarheid nie. Fuck, Mr. Mulder, we can make a meme of you. Literally. And then you always go on a rant of like, ja, jy soveel jare in die politics, so many years in the politics, you're the longest sitting parliamentary member. Cool. Point out anything you've done in those years in Parliament. Anything productive for us. What have you done to benefit the Boervolk in South Africa? Absolutely diddly fucking squat. Thank you. You should retire. You have forsaked us. All of you in Parliament right now from the Freedom Front. And yes, the younger people sitting there now Oh, Wouter Wessels, Heloise Dinar. Okay, you have a chance to do something right. But if you're not going to do the right thing and acknowledge that there is a problem, if you're going to sit back and keep quiet just because you're comfortable being in Parliament earning that salary, then you're part of the problem. And that goes for everyone in the party. If you're not going to speak up because you're scared you're going to lose your position, then you're part of the problem. If you're going to protect the people on top, you're part of the problem. Speak up and speak out. I'm not the only one. Quibus is not the only one. There are others I've spoken to from every single province across the country. We have all had enough of these old men sitting there on the top. And okay, there's some youngsters there too, sitting on the top, munching from the cash cow, our taxpayers' money, lying to us, cheating us, stealing our Volk start from us, our freedom. At the end of the day, politicians are the biggest pigs and scumbags in this country, and the biggest stain to our freedom, the biggest, probably greatest betrayal, is when the white politicians, in particular, wit Afrikaanse politicians, sit up there in Parliament. They have done nothing good for us. The National Party sold us out. Now the Freedom Front has sold us out. But we can clean up the Freedom Front. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a very difficult task to clean it up. I know I'm going to be prevented from participating in the reorganization of the structures of the party. So be it. I do not desire a position. In fact, I know that this video I'm doing now will be used against me in my disciplinary hearing. I still haven't received the charge sheet. They're still investigating. So they're looking for more information. And by all means, use this fucking video if you want to. Use it. Go ahead. I don't mind losing my job. Simply out of principle. The truth must be heard. Kobus Hofman is speaking the truth and now you've taken him to court. Shame on you. To every good-hearted Boer in this party, in the Freedom Front Plus, and to every Boer out there who voted for the Freedom Front Plus, maak jou stem dik. Get up and speak up against this. We need to clean up this party. There is nothing else to represent us. There are hundreds of thousands, if not about 1 million plus, Boere who don't want to vote. Why do they not want to vote? Because there's no one to truly represent us. They are right. We have to prove them wrong and fix this party so that we have a voice for us. Otherwise, we're going back to square one. And the non-political solutions are not the type of route we really want to go. Nobody wants to see that. Because at the end of the day, when you push a man far enough and you break him, he will have no mercy, especially on verraaiers. We know what the punishment for verraaiers is. Punishment for forsakers. It's a treasonous act. This is a warning to the leadership of the party. We will eat you up unless you remove yourselves from the party and allow us to clean up this party and use it as a vessel, as a vehicle to push the agenda of the Boere, the agenda of Volksstaat, the agenda of our sovereignty, our freedom. We need a voice. We have been marginalized for 30 years, and no thanks to you, you allowed it to happen. So, you are being held accountable now. Take the responsibility, do the right thing. Otherwise, we will destroy you. The crimes you have committed, the white-collar crimes, that's going to put a couple of you in jail for a good while. And I have confidence in the lawyers handling that case. And I have confidence that Kobus has got all the evidence he needs to bring you down. He's been in this a long time. And there are others around the country who have got evidence in different provinces as well. At the end of the day, if you don't remove yourselves, then this party will be nothing in the next election. The people have spoken. The loss of support in this election is evidence enough for a reason to remove the leadership of this party. Last thing I'd like to put out there for our Volksleden, our Boer. When good men sit back and do nothing, evil prevails. So as good men, as good moral Christians, even if you're not a Christian, even if you're just a moral individual, good moral, principled, get up and do the right thing. Fight for God, Volk and Vaderland, as I always say. Stand up, stand strong, stand united. No one's going to bring down our Volk. No politician is going to be allowed from here on out to stab us in the back. We do not trust politicians.